Okay. You know, that's also something, if you dress smart, you have to act smart. And if you dress smart, you have to, like, maybe make sure that you don't want to ruin these clothes, because this is something I got from my brother's marriage. So it's also quite special. And so yeah, try to be respectful of the things that have been given to you, and that includes family. And yes, indeed, it's sometimes hard, you know, to take care of yourself and your family. So make sure first to take care of yourself, and then, you know, you can take care a bit of your family, but it mostly should be, you know, you're still the center of your life. So you have to make sure first you're okay. And then when you feel like you're okay, you make sure others are okay. Something that often makes me uncomfortable is rain. I can't actually tell you why, but it's this, you know, kind of discomfort that I'm trying to avoid at all times. So every time it starts raining, I just feel like, you know, I've been granted a reason to stay inside. And that's why, you know, every time it starts going towards winter, you know, I always, in a way, I start dreading it. But it also gives me enough excuses to never leave the house. And I actually quite dislike that, because I don't know where this fear of getting wet and uncomfortable, you know, why do I have to be afraid of it? And because probably I've been told several times as a child, if you get wet, you're gonna get sick. No, if you get wet, you know, you start to heal. But you also have to heal in a way, because if you don't, like, for example, the last couple of days I had, like, the sniffles. I like that word. And I had all kinds of other things. So I also at the same time was recording episodes for my podcast, and I was drinking a lot of coffee because somehow it boosted me, whatever. And it was just getting worse and worse. And I realized at one point, maybe I should just sleep now. So you have to allow yourself to take some rest when you're feeling you're showing symptoms of healing, getting rid of stuff, because then your body needs energy to replace the energy that you're just, you know, expelling from your system. And for that you have to pay attention. How do I feel? Like, how am I in the stomach? Like, do I actually feel good? Like, instead of always doing the same things, that's what I mean. You have to pay attention to the state of your affairs, to the state of affairs of your system, of your body. And then you make certain decisions according to that feeling. And for example, I just slept tonight, you know, the first night where I felt like, you know, I slept a bit, like I got some rest. And now I had the energy again to record videos for the YouTube channel, and that was just one night. But also I did eat a lot of food, which somehow, you know, assisted me in that, although it got to the point where I felt really sick. But somehow it all helped me to get back on the horse. So I sometimes don't understand, because then people say, well, you're substituting food for love. Yeah, maybe I am, but somehow it still helped me, didn't it? It still gave me something. But on the long run, it's certainly somehow unhealthy to keep stuffing yourself full with food. So you shouldn't do that every day. That's why today I just try to eat a bit less. Just drank a bit more coffee. So, you know, it's up to you to make these decisions. How do I want to live my life? But it's important to make a decision and to realize that it is your choice, no matter what you do. You know, you choose to get a vaccination, it's your choice. Then you can ask yourself, you know, would I make that choice again? Or would I next time make a different choice, right? Would I choose differently next time? So you can learn from your mistakes. And then you hear that, you know, the vaccinations are giving people like infections of their heart muscle or something. Like young males, I mean, imagine that. Healthy young men getting sick from the cure. So that's something to just question, instead of holding on to that, opinion that, the government was trying to save you. Maybe you should just question these things and just think, okay, what do they say and what is happening, what is actually happening? What do they say and how did I feel? For example, I didn't get the vaccination and, I feel all right. So for me, nothing really changed, apart from the fact that I got quite angry at all these things that were happening. And then you hear, people like in government saying, oh, we're not responsible for the emotional state of people. We're only, for the physical. So they actually don't give a shit how you feel. And that's quite alarming. They don't give a shit how you feel as long as your body is somewhat alright. And that's just materialism. And that's how we're treating, the whole planet, just as a material and not as something that actually has feelings. And that's what I might have wanted to get to with talking about the body. Because if you think like it's Mother Nature that provides us with the body, right? And if it's Mother Nature, it's somehow like the feminine side more, and the Godfather, it's like the male side, right? And together they somehow produce life and create experiences. And it's the body that has all these emotions that store inside of it and then whoosh, rush through you. So it's also the body that allows you to kind of feel energies and stuff, right? So what happens then? Well, you look at women and they're often like this really, they don't make sense if you're trying to understand them with your mind. They don't make sense at all. If you're trying to understand what they say, you will never understand that. No, you have to feel how she feels. The woman is the emotional side, right? And the man is more like the rational side. And if you're, as a man, too convinced that you're just a man, you're trying to push everything that's female inside of you, away from you because you say, I don't want to be weak, I don't have emotions. It's always shutting out your emotions. It makes you weak because you're missing a part of yourself. But you're still more male than female. So you're still more male than female, so you have to find balance. And that's why I like wearing these things, like things that I crochet, because it reminds me of my creative, gentle nature. But I also have that strong kind of nature. And then there's women, sometimes they're too male because maybe they were hurt emotionally. So, they run to their male side because now they want to be like, Reusch. So they lose their femininity, which they have more of. That's why they're women, right? They're a bit more on the emotional side. And that's good, because they also remind us that we are beings with feelings. But when the men constantly try to just use women for sex and stuff, you drain them. Because you're using the woman to replace your inner feminine side. And that's why you want to have sex with women all the time. Instead, you should just reconnect with your own femininity. And then you can be a more complete man. Because then you have male and female inside of you. So, you're really rational. And everything physical kind of, is your thing. And then you realize, holy shit, there's so many emotions inside of me. I just have to allow them to flow. But that's the thing in this society. If you show emotions, you're weak. You're a weak fucker. And maybe you are.
Maybe you are.